the Chicago White Sox right now, according to Pacoda, are projected 61.9 wins and 100.1 losses. They have 0% chance to make the playoffs, which I agree with. I don't know if I agree with the 61.9 wins, though. I really don't. They were so bad last year. 61.9 would have to be a 20-win increase, almost a 21-win increase. And I just don't know if I really believe in that. They were so bad last year. I really wish that I spent more time watching them, because what they did was something truly great. And I don't mean great as in curing a horrible disease or solving world hunger. I'm talking about great how Ollivander said Voldemort did great things. Terrible, but great. That's what I'm talking about. 41 wins. Broke the MLB record for losses with 121. They just had a horrible year. And imagine having that horrible of a season and you still had Garrett Crochet, who's arguably the nastiest lefty in the American League, except for Skubal. I think he has a chance to be as good as Skubal. He could win a Cy Young sometime in his career. He was ridiculous. And it's really bad when you look at what they did last year. You look at all these OPS pluses right in front of me. Andrew Vaughn had a 99 OPS plus, a 0.2 WAR in 570 at bats. That is really rough. And Andrew Benintendi, who somehow hit 20 home runs, 95 OPS plus, who led their team in homers, putting up with a sub 700 OPS. And Tommy Pham had the highest OPS on the team, it looks like, or a highest OPS plus on the team, who got a decent sample size. But what did they do this offseason? They did bring in some people. Who did they lose, though? We all know Garrett Crochet is not there anymore. They traded him to the Red Sox. You lost Michael Soroka, who didn't do well as a starter, but he actually did some really good work as a reliever. I think the Nationals are planning on using him as a starter, but that is for a separate conversation when we talk about the NL East. Yohan Moncada went to the Angels on a one-year deal. Mike Clevenger did re-sign with them. Nick Senzel, he is still unsigned. You lost him. You lost Gavin Sheets, Enyel De Los Santos, Martin Maldonado, and his 400 OPS. Max Stassi is now a Giant for their minor leagues system. But what did they bring in? So far, not much. I mean, you got Mike Tauchman in free agency. You got Josh Rojas over at third base. You brought him in. Non-roster invitee Joey Gallo, signed him last month. And you got Brandon Drury, also Matt Tice, Michael A. Taylor. Martin Perez is going to be the ace of that rotation. That is not something I thought I would say in the year 2025. Bryce Wilson, who was a reliever last year, is slated as their number 5 starter on Fangraphs. This is all on Fangraphs. If you are listening and not watching, I do have all. We're looking at Fangraphs right now, so maybe in some time I'll set up some like nicer scenes for this podcast sort of situation. Right now, I just want to remain consistent and try to get episodes out there and just be informative / entertaining, whatever you want to call it. But this lineup looks rough. Mike Tauchman, who I didn't know was 34 years old, is slated as their leadoff, according to Fangraphs. Now, this is all projections. I don't know what their lineup construction will come to look like opening day. You got Luis Robert hitting second. I can't believe he's already almost 28 years old. Andrew Vaughn, 27 years old. Miguel Vargas slated to clean up, who had one of the worst seasons that statistically we've seen. He came over from the Dodgers in a trade. I forgot who the White Sox traded to the Dodgers. I think it was Kopech. I think it was Michael Kopech, now that I'm thinking about it. You got Josh Rojas playing second base. Lennon Sosa as their DH. That is not someone you want to see as a DH who wants to pop there. I think Joey Gallo might have. I think that's actually a really good spot for Joey Gallo because I don't know what he has left. Suddenly he's 31 years old, and I'm getting old now that I think about it. Jeez, how the time flies. But I'm curious to see what he has left in the tank. And, you know, I think this is a good thing for the White Sox, giving these guys who have done stuff in the past, who might be on their last sort of run in their careers potentially, giving them the 1-year deals. They're going to get playing time. And if they're having a good season at the deadline, trade him for something. Trade him for some prospects. Trade him for some younger dudes who could be something moving forward, maybe 3 years down the line. But anyway, Corey Lee, a catcher. The one thing that I think White Sox should look forward to is their prospects. You got Colson Montgomery slated as their starting shortstop according to Fangraphs. Let's see what he's got. Let's see what he has. He's 23 years old. He's their top prospect. That is, if I was a White Sox fan, that is what I would be paying attention to this year. Just their prospects and seeing how these young guys play in the majors. If they are in the majors, like Colson Montgomery is slated as their opening day shortstop. I don't know if the White Sox have actually come out and said he's going to be their opening day shortstop, but that's something I would look at because you have a lot of minor league talent, a lot of prospects that can be good for this team. I mean, Jonathan Cannon, what does he have? He's going to be 25 this year. Bryce Wilson, he's only 27. I mean, he had a decent year as a reliever last year. What does that look like as a starter? I'm kind of interested to see what he did last year off the top of my head. I mean, 4.04 ERA and 104 and 2/3 inning. That's not terrible. That's not a bad season. And let's just see what he's got. He's going to get innings. He's going to get a lot of innings. Their bullpen is just meh. You got Penn Murphy, who could be fun to watch. Tyler Gilbert, who I believe he threw a no-hitter for Arizona, I think. But right now on the injured list, you got Andrew Benintendi, Austin Slater. I mean, that contract for Andrew Benintendi is rough. I think they got to find some way to increase his value. He's got a fractured hand, though. I missed that. He has a fractured hand on his non-throwing hand. That's rough, though. I mean, if he's hurt, you can't increase his trade value. So he's going to miss some time. Looks like this is not the year that he's going to get traded. But not saying a team would take him. I know he had a decent second half last year. But going back to what I said about their prospects, Edgar Cuero, catching prospect in AAA, 4th in their organization, and overall 90th. You got Kyle Teal, who came over from Boston, another catching prospect. Which one of them figures it out? Which one of them rises to the top of the ranks? I'm really excited to kind of watch Kyle Teal as well and seeing how those prospects they got from the Garrett Crochet trade kind of develop and stack up. Braden Montgomery, another guy to look out for and pay attention to as he gets reps in the minors. Same thing with Brian Ramos. I know he got some playing time last year. Didn't look great. 655. Or that's the projection, my fault. Never mind, a little bit rougher than I originally thought. 586 OPS in 108 plate appearances. He didn't look great, but he's only 23. Maybe he taps into something. And that's just what I would look at if you're a White Sox fan, looking for something to look forward to during the season, because it doesn't look great. They're going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be worse than last year. That would be almost impossible. I just don't think it's going to happen. Whether or not they win 61.9 games, I'm going to say they don't. I'm going to say they win 55 to 57. That's what I'm going to go with.